Okay, welcome to Team Call. Today, Mo is going to be leading us, and Mo started coaching in April, I believe. And um, literally from the day Mo messaged me, I knew that she was going to kill it in this business because she came in with intent. She did not toe dip. She did not come here to mess around. She was like, oh no, I am going to help support my family and help pay our bills with this business. And I am going to do it. I'm here for it. And she has showed up from day one and proven that to be true. So I asked Mo to speak to us tonight about what she is doing that is working, like what she's learning in this biz, all the things. So take it away, Mo.
Thanks. And if I ever freeze, just say something or do something. I'm on Spencer's computer, so hopefully it's all good. But yeah, no, I was really humbled and honored to be asked to just kind of share tonight. And Callie is 100% right when she said I kind of just like jumped in without even like looking. I honestly had no idea what I was doing. I'm sure as well as most of you. Felt like I was drinking out of a fire hydrant for like weeks, and it was just super overwhelming. But I think the one thing that really fired me up and like pushed me to do that were two things. The first one was just financially, like our family was in a really, really like messy, sticky place. Like since we had gotten married, we were living paycheck to paycheck, and I had like little jobs here and there. And before quarantine, I was at a point where I was like dragging my 6-month-old to like nanny at people's houses and would stay there for hours with them. It was just a very exhausting, like experience. And at that point too, I thought I was going to have to get a second job, and it just like, it wasn't living life. Like we were not enjoying what we feel like the Lord was like calling us to do. And because we had to work every single minute of our lives. So that was like really the main thing of like, all right, this needs to like change, and it needs to change fast. And I know that it's not a get rich fast method, like 100%. And I'm sure all of you know that. I was actually part of an MLM, or we were part of an MLM called Amway, like a year and a half ago, I think now. And we saw a lot of the same patterns that I see here, just because a lot of multi-level marketing businesses kind of work the same way and do the same things. But that was just not the right fit for our family at that point. And it was very intense for me, my very first one. But I think it was really helpful to have that experience because I saw how consistent and patient and like how much you really have to build up to like start succeeding and to start getting success. And that kind of just prepped me, I think, for Beachbody and for coaching, like knowing that, oh, this isn't going to just like get me hundreds of dollars weekly right off the bat. Like it just doesn't work that way. But we have incredibly close friends that are still a part of that MLM business who stayed consistent, who continue to show up for that every single day. And they're pretty well off right now. And it's been 2 years. So like, I just had like people like that around me already. And then obviously Callie has shared her stories on Instagram about, you know, her bills covering her mortgage, and just what a blessing it's been even now with like medical stuff coming in from the miscarriage. And like that like is what spoke out to me. So I guess that's in the beginning and still is like kind of my why is like, I don't want to live working my butt off for the rest of my life. And I think that this could really change that. So I was just really fired up when I started. That new coach call that Callie and Julie always lead was really helpful. And a few key things from there, like from that call that I really am still trying to implement in right now is like, you're going to feel fearful of something every single day in this business. Like you're going to have hesitancy to do something, whether it's inviting, whether it's posting, whether it's saying this word or this sentence, whatever. Like there's going to be some type of fear or hesitation in everything you do. And you just have to feel that, soak it up, and like do it anyway. Like just jump in, because it's always going to be there. Like you hear coaches talking about that are 5-star diamonds, and they still talk about sometimes being nervous about sending invites or posting this or that. So that's just kind of been like my motto, I guess, is like, it's going to be scary and it's okay. I'm just going to do it anyway. And that's really grown me as a recovering people pleaser for sure. Still growing in that. But yeah, I think just knowing that you're going to mess up, that you're going to fail, that you're going to like get things wrong, like accepting that and knowing that that's okay was also something that I just accepted early on in the beginning. And it's really actually been a super humble thing to like walk through, knowing that like those things are not healthy to be fearing. Those things are not healthy to even be exercising at all, because they get you nowhere. So yeah, when I first jumped in, I read Compound Effect. That was my very first personal development book, or I actually listened to it on Audible. If you're not a reader, I really suggest to just download Audible, pay the $15 a month, and you get like credits every couple weeks to get books. I have flown through books using Audible, and I never read. I'm not very good at reading. And so the Compound Effect through Audible was like an incredible first personal development book for coaching. And it really does give you like that sigh of relief that like you're not going to make money quick, but if you continue to show up and if you continue to like put in the effort every single day, it's going to come. Like it will. It works. There's a formula. So that was really helpful. And I just soaked up all of the trainings from like Julie and Callie's YouTube channel. Every single day I would have it playing. I would watch it. Like I loved it. Like I loved just soaking all of that up. And I feel like I need to just like go back and rewatch more of those. But I think the biggest thing, or the biggest few things that I really feel like have been working well for me right now is just my frog is like inviting about coaching and inviting really to the group in general at first. So I know that Julie on the new training call had kind of said, like, if you are jumping all in, sending about 50 invites a week is what that should look like. Like about 10 a day is a good number. And I remember like wanting to throw up when I heard that, but that has actually the whole time, like since joining coaching, that has been my minimum. Like every single day I'm sending 10 invites, whether it's follow-ups, whether it's coaching, whether it's new group people, whether it's following new people and introducing myself to them. 10 people is my minimum. And it was really, really honestly like a game changer, I think, in the beginning, and still has been, just to like set something up for myself that I want to hit daily, you know, like obviously we have our vitals, but like this was a personal goal that like I wanted to overcome and that I wanted to do. And then obviously when you first start, using scripts, I think is a great idea. Like people knock scripts, but when you first start, you do need to like understand lingo. You need to understand like what you are offering, and to try and come up with your own words sometimes is overwhelming and you won't have like all of the details. So scripts are an incredible resource, especially for newer coaches. And they worked for me. Like they worked for me for the first 2 months. But I think people definitely caught on to like the script, I guess, like after following up with them with scripts and things like that. So I have just started to slow down like my time inviting, and I am trying to be as personable as possible, and not even in a fake way. Like I'm really trying to figure out what would I say to them if they were sitting on my couch having coffee, like, and we were having a conversation. And I feel like that's helped because they may say no to like my group. They may say no to coaching or my follow-up, but I actually like try and incorporate conversation after that. Like, hey, no worries, girl, totally fine. How's your summer been? Like just make it super normal, and it completely doesn't feel icky. It like genuinely feels like a normal, regular conversation, which has been a game changer. I think being consistent in posting has been like a non-negotiable for me. And I was never a big poster, but like I knew that was also something I was going to have to jump into. Like consistency was a big thing for me when I was watching Callie for like a year plus, because I knew like no matter what was going on in her life, she was going to pop up on my Instagram and she was going to be doing some type of workout or talking about something related to health and fitness. And I was drawn to that. Like for 12 months, I was drawn to that. I think it was more the consistency I was drawn to. And I was like, how is she doing this? Like she's literally like sharing everything about her life. I was relating to so much just because every single day, the biggest thing was like she was updating everybody on Carson's sleep training. And I was like, I need this in my life. Like I 100% could relate. And so I would literally wake up the next morning and be like, how was Carson? How was Carson last night? Like so creepy, but like so cool now to see like how that consistency paid off. And now we're on a team and we're friends. It's just super cool. Maybe a little creepy, but it just really showed me that like the power of consistency is so powerful. Like it's so strong and it's so impactful just by posting on your stories about your life in general. And so that's been like something that I have actually fallen in love with doing. Like if I am nearing the end of my day and I feel like I've only posted like 3 or 4 times, I'm like, okay, I gotta update my friends. I gotta update people. Like it's been really fun to like get creative and figure out how to post things. So being super consistent in that, I think will pay off, even if it feels awkward, even if it feels weird. But Julie in that new coach training for me told us like, what are like the 5 things that encompass who you are? Like for me, I would say it's, health and fitness. It's my family. It's my daughter and just like her milestones coming up. It's my church and our ministry. And it's honestly just like hanging out with friends or getting coffee with people, like just community. And I want my Instagram page to like reflect all of those. And so that's kind of been something I always go back to when it comes to like consistent posting. Like what am I doing today? What can I let people know? Like what is the value that I want to give people? And I honestly like want to do more of that, like share just more of a broader, like basically like an outlook on my life. Like, I don't know if people know this about me or this about me. Like I want to be an open book. And then I think for like figuring out how to find time to squeeze in like coach work, do you guys struggle with the balance of that, especially if you have kids or if you're moving, Allison, or college student, Jordan? Like obviously we all kind of have our different things, but I feel like again, like another non-negotiable I've kind of set for myself is like 2 hours a day, somehow, some way I'm dedicating to coach work. And so for me, that looks like nap times. I try and be really consistent and at least sitting down for one of those nap times and working. And then when Charlie goes to bed around 7, I am normally on the couch or at the table sitting down till about 9, like almost every night. Like that's just what it looks like for me, because I know that that's going to pay off. And I know that that's a lot of Netflix I'm giving up. That's a lot of, time with Spencer that I'm giving up sometimes, but we're already starting to see that pay off. And the short, big sacrifices will definitely like pay off in the long run. And that's what we're learning right now. So that's what's like pushing me to continue doing that. But I also love it. Like I love sitting down and doing it. It's not like, I need to check in with my group. I'm like, I haven't talked to these girls all day. Let me just like go through and check off and like see how they're all doing. So I think it helps that you love your job and that you love coaching. Like that's what makes you want to sit down and do it. But and then I think the last thing that I really have realized and I've obviously learned from Callie is that your challenge group, your accountability group, whatever you want to call it, like they are your babies. Like you literally have to nurture them. You have to lead them. You have to feed them. You have to continue to connect with them. And you are a leader. Like as a coach, you are a leader. You're held in a leadership position. You are responsible for these women. They paid money. They're committing time. They're trusting you. And for me, that was like a huge like slap in the face of like, I cannot just like take this as something like, oh, I'm so humbled and honored to be a coach. Like, no, these people like are relying on me to like help give them results. I need to like study. I need to educate myself. I really need to take this seriously, but like love it while I'm doing it. So for me, that's like obviously checking with them every single day throughout the day. A lot of times I'll wait till at night and just do it all at once because I love to just see like post after post after post. And I'm like, Callie's always said this, but like truly engaging with what they're saying, not just saying, good job, way to go. Like comment on like how great they're looking or comment on the consistency of how they've been posting in the group, like applaud them on that and praise them for that. I have something every Saturday that I do called Saturday Spotlight. I just highlight a girl that I feel like has been showing up, that has been consistently like posting, that has gone through a program or two, and I find a picture on their Facebook and I just like rave about them, because people love to be praised. People love to be recognized. That's us. That's human nature. So I have been doing that, and it's so much fun to see like how other people are like coming alongside of this person, like, yes, like you definitely deserve this is incredible. Like that's what the community is all about. And I think I'm going to start doing like maybe once a month like a recognition post, literally listing every single girl in the group and just putting a small like blip beside their name of like why I want to recognize them, like what they're doing well, whether they're showing up. Maybe it's like, she did not eat any treats this week and that was her goal. You know, like whatever it is, just like praising them and recognizing them and encouraging them like in front of everybody. I think that honestly is a huge thing. And then I like weekly check in with them. So I think that's really been helpful when it comes to building relationships with the people in your challenge group and those people wanting to like do what I do. And like Jordan and Tori, the two coaches on this call, they were both in my challenge group. They were like the two first girls in my challenge group. And I think just the community aspect and how well that they jumped in and were, you know, saw what I was doing. And I think that they just naturally like wanted to do that. I think it was just really, really cool to see them like kind of answer the call that like God was laying on their hearts to like do this too for their people. So super, super cool to just like sit back and watch that and not even realize that that was what was happening until now. But yeah, I think just to kind of summarize it, sorry, I know I'm like word vomiting, but I think the biggest thing that I know and believe is something that is vital, at least for me in my business, is praying and surrendering like every single thing. Like beginning of every day, just knowing like, God, I am not in control of the successes. I am not in control of like the money that goes in and out of my bank account. Like I can work really hard, but if this is not already like given to you and surrendered to you, then it doesn't matter. Like it's meaningless and it's worthless and it's not going to make me happy. It's not going to give me worth, because like all of that belongs to you. So like I just try to always approach every single morning like with the posture of like, I'm surrendering this to you. It's up to you, like when you want to help me reach a goal, when you want to bring those people into my life and into my group. And it's like taking it's taken so much pressure off of like, I got to get this and this and this and this and this. Like it's just been really encouraging to like learn that and know that like that's what you have to do, like especially as a believer in this business. But then once you do that, you have to work hard. And yeah, exactly what Callie said, like that quote is so true. Like you got to pray and like lay it all down, but you can't just like sit there and expect God to like get you to the top. You got to work your booty, and that's okay, because it's no longer all on you. Like you laid it at his feet. You just have to do the things that you know you have to do and enjoy doing it because you're helping people. And I think especially when it comes to like plateaus, and I know we've all already had this, but like you just kind of hit that wall of like, okay, I'm out of people to invite. I'm like super discouraged. I feel like I'm not getting any like basically any points, any income, like what's going on. Like staying consistent during those plateaus, personally for me, is the hardest thing to do. But I've looked back through already, I feel like 3 or 4 plateaus in like 3 months. Like it happens very regularly for me, I feel like. But I don't like, oh, thanks. I don't regret doing that, because I know if I stop that, like this month could look very, very differently if I would have never stayed consistent in the plateaus I hit in May. So stay consistent, obviously just like continue to surrender and trust the Lord and know that his timing is perfect timing. And really, I just wanted to share one quick thing and then I'll be done. But I was just reminded tonight, we always read a devotion to Charlie like before we go to bed. And I was just reminded tonight that like the gifts and talents that the Lord has like created you guys with are all different compared to mine. We're all different. but they're not just like created and meant for ourselves. Like gifts and talents are meant to share with people. Like the things that you're wired to do are not just meant for like, okay, this is just for me and I'm going to keep it to myself. Like those are things that I feel like we are designed to share and we are designed to like help others do as well. So this like quote, I just thought it was really sweet. It says, give what you have, for you never know, to someone else that may be better than you could even dare to think. Like you have no idea what reaching out to one girl about wanting to join an accountability group could do for her life in 10 years. Like Callie had no idea that when she was sharing Carson's like sleep training story, or sharing that like her paycheck covered her mortgage, that it was going to change my life. And so just know that like the things that you're being called to do right now, like are not by accident, and they're not to keep to yourself, like 100%. Obviously, if you aren't coaching for the right reasons, and if you feel like you're not called by the Lord to do it, that's a whole nother thing. But for me, being called by the Lord to like, no, I am called to build a community. I'm called to pour into this community and to help this community through the avenue of health and fitness. Like that in and of itself is like enough for me to just like lay away all of the opinions, all of the negatives, all of the hard plateaus, and knowing that like if it's one girl, it's worth it. Like one girl who may not even know the Lord and come to know the Lord through this. Like one girl who may not be able to get on her hands and knees and play with her baby, but she might after doing a program with us. Like we just don't know. And that's why we have to surrender that to the Lord, because he's the only one that knows. So yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to truly like, if you feel like you're holding back and being fearful of something, like jump in and do it. If you feel like you're not surrendering those things and you're getting frustrated by not hitting goals and stuff, like maybe it's just because you're piling those things on yourself and you need to like let them go and trust the Lord with that. But continue to work hard. Maybe it's you need to change your habits, and when it comes to scheduling and coach time versus free time, it could be anything. I'm always learning, always still growing, and this is just kind of like what has really helped me stay consistent and encouraged in my business. And yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to share.
That was awesome. Thank you, Mo. I remember when you first started and it was like your first week, and I think there were like, I think there were like 5 days left till the end of the month. And you were like, I'm going to hit Success Club this month and I'm going to go Emerald. And I was like, okay. And literally you did it. I think you hit Success Club 8 and you went Emerald in like 5 days. But something I remember is you had texted me, I believe it was on a Wednesday, and you were like, I've sent out 47 invites since this morning, and like whatever, I don't even remember what you said after that, but I just remember the number like 40, 47 or something like that sticking out to me. And I remember just thinking like, this girl's only been doing this for a couple of days, and like she is not afraid. I feel like so many people sit down to send 10 invites and then stop there because that is like the number that was set out, or like 5 invites and then stop there. And you were like, no, I'm going to hit this goal, so I'm going to invite as many people as I can until I hit that goal. And I thought that I've always admired that outlook that you've had and that like work ethic. But I wanted to ask you, like, when you sat down to send out 40 invites in your like 3rd day of coaching, like who did you invite? Like, where did that list come from? Like, what consisted of those people that you asked?
Yeah. I think at that point I also knew like I could see myself stopping at that 10 invite mark. And I just knew I had to like, I've just got to almost do like a mass invite just to like almost get that out of the way. Like to know that like, no, I actually invited triple that, and I'm able to do that because I just did it. Like, and I don't know, just kind of like get over those insecurities one invite at a time. Like it's out there. I'm letting it go. So I think when I sent out all of those, I think I literally just went through my stories after I shared, like I started sharing a little bit. I would like go through my stories, and like, even if the person had never watched a story before, I literally just sent them messages. And then I think it was my coming out like coach post, because that was the very first thing I ever posted. Pretty much every single girl that liked it, I sent it to. It was like non-negotiable. whoever liked it, I'm just sending it to them. And I think that really like helped me just climb over that first wall of like, who am I going to invite? Like, this was awkward. This is weird. And then just kind of started from like my warm market. I actually did move over to Facebook, and a lot of people in my group came from my Facebook friends. And I don't know if this is good, but I did pretty much cold message them. But it was like, I was definitely careful about that. Like who I really was messaging, not just like anybody. But honestly, like Facebook has been super successful for me when it comes to friends. So if you haven't tried that avenue, why not? That's what I say. But yeah. I think when I said to you, like, I wanted to hit Emerald, I think at that point I didn't even know what like Success Club points were. I just knew like I needed 2 discount coaches. I was like, okay, who's that going to be? And I signed up Spencer, and then Tori Romano, she's on the call right now. She's a sweet friend of mine. She has a baby, so she's probably taking care of him. But she was my second one that signed up literally an hour before like that closed. So like, it's just so cool to see full circle now. Like she was the very first person that signed up, and I like never reached out to Tori. Like I was actually staying away from like the pastors' wives because that's like a whole nother thing here that I just did not want to get into. Backstory, there's 2 other or 3 other, there's a pastor's wife and like 2 other ladies within our whole church that have become Beachbody coaches within the same week that I did. It's all very, very weird, and we're on different teams and it's awkward. But yeah, so that was just kind of a cool blessing that Tori like reached out to me and wanted to just jump in, and she is killing it. Like she's killing it. So but yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I feel like there have been so many times where I have like avoided messaging someone and then they've messaged me. And it's really taught me a lesson, which I mean, I'm not speaking to awkward situations, but just in general, it's just really taught me like maybe the Lord put that person on your heart and you chose not to message them, and then they have reached out to you. So I just think it's so cool when we step outside of our comfort zone and invite people like you did with your 47 people.
For sure. And I think you just have, for me and my husband, he just reminded me of this. He's like writing notes behind me, like, say this. Like, that's true, actually. But this was like an all in, we are like jumping 100% all into this from day one. Like it was a commitment that both of us made. And I think that has really helped. So like, I don't know like how all of your husbands are feeling about this, but like, I encourage you guys to talk to your husbands if you're married, just talk to them and communicate them about the business and about what you're doing, and like asking them to pray with you about it, pray for you. Like that has honestly helped me, because I feel like it's not just I'm doing this. Like, no, this is something we are involved in. Like he's taking the supplements too. I signed him up as a coach. Like he's involved. So like just knowing that like all in day one, we're not backing out has been such a cool like mindset, I think, for us, and has really helped us like push through those plateaus.
Yeah, that is definitely something that was unique about you guys. I mean, I think our first Zoom call was both you and Spencer, I believe. And that was like that was a first for me, and was really cool because my husband's all in too, but he definitely took a little bit more time, and now he's like really all in. But so it was just cool to have Spencer all in at once, and definitely has shown to be helpful for your business. But that's not to say that if, I know that sometimes husbands are not, it's hard in general for us as husbands and wives to get on the same exact page every time. Okay. That's just life.
No.
And so like, there's going to be maybe a season there where your husband's like, I mean, I'll support you because I love you, but that doesn't mean that like, I know what this is. And that was my husband. And now he's like, dude, you want me to come speak on team call tonight? Every Thursday he asks me if I want him to come speak on team call, and every Thursday I tell him no thank you. But like that wasn't the case from day one. You know what I mean? There was a lot of like hurdles we jumped. And so don't feel like if your husband's not super there that he won't get there. But I would say keep working, and number one thing that is going to get your husband on board is those paychecks. So do your work and show up, and those paychecks are going to come in and they'll be like, oh, this is working. Not to be super superficial. But thank you, Mo. That was all like super helpful, and you made me cry at one point. Great. Yeah, my husband is constantly reminding me that he was my first diamond, even though he has nothing to do with his account. But he's like, I'm a diamond coach. I'm like, okay. Oh, so funny. Okay. So, does anybody have any questions for Mo? Anything that you're like, what is it that's working specifically for you, or whatever it might be? Any questions at all?
I feel like I talked about 10,000 things, so I'm sorry.
No, it was good. It was all good. For sure. And I love that little devotional.
Oh my gosh, it was perfect for tonight.
Okay. Well, I think there were a lot of good reminders in there. And I specifically loved the reminder about just like, I think that you are a really good example of working hard, but also trusting in God and knowing that those two have to come together. You can't, just pray for your business and not do the work, or just do the work and not pray for your business. Like, they're both very important. If you think of any questions, go ahead and drop them in the team call post tonight, and Mo can go ahead and respond to those. But let's take a boom, and then we'll call it a night.
Spencer wants to say hi real quick.
Come say hi.
What's up?
Hi,
Hey,
Spencer.
what's up, ladies? How y'all doing? I just want to say thanks for letting Mo share. I think it's really cool. She told you a lot about all the awesome stuff that's been happening. And I feel like the way that she's been growing is a lot of challenges too. Like, we've had a lot of trials the past few weeks and faced opposition, negativity, also awesome breakthroughs. What I was trying to motion to her earlier is about being all in. It wasn't so much that I was all in. I did support her. I still do 100%. But we had a conversation day one before she committed to Cali. And I said, babe, if you're going to do this, do it with everything you got, become the best coach that there's ever been, and you don't look back. Like, we need to do this and make a decision right now for your goal is say, hey, if we commit to this, we do it 100%, because we know that you can build this and you can make a legacy with it. But if you have any hesitation, anyone, if you have any hesitation, don't do it. You don't need to come in 80%. Like, I know it's hard every day to have that 100% mentality, but like, kind of putting all your cards on the table day one, like, is what I wanted to challenge her in, because I knew that would help her be anchored in no matter what. And that's where I think her making that decision, not me, is what I think thrust her into trusting Callie just as her upline, and then being willing to bring other girls in because she knew that this was going to be an amazing experience. So thank you for all that you've taught her. And I mean, you guys are her best friends. And we came out of the season where, like, we need more community. Where are our friends at? We just moved. And so you became the family that she needed. So I'm just really, I told the girls that the other night, but I'm just really thankful for you guys. And you've made my wife's life flourish in a way that I've been waiting for, in the sense of, like, I know when she finds her niche, she's going to be on a different cloud. And she's a totally different person in the best ways, because she found what she loves and she's making a difference. So that's all I want to say. Appreciate you guys.
Spencer is the ultimate hype man.
Literally. If you need any encouragement, just hit him up.
Alex said the same thing to me after I started coaching. He's like, I've never seen you like this before. So it's always cool when our husbands can see that, like, we found a passion that we didn't have before. Okay, let's take a boomerang. Ready? I'm show my bling. 3, 2, 1. Cute. All right, Allison, when do you officially move? Like, official day?
Saturday morning, we are pulling out of our driveway.
What day?
Saturday morning.
Okay, we are praying for this cold to leave Allison's body, and all of the things to work out on Saturday morning so she can just cry because it's sad and cry because she's excited. And
Oh.
you're
No.
about to live an hour and a half from me.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Me too.
And Noelle.
Like, this is exciting.
Yeah.
Not me.
All right, we will be praying for you.
Thank you.
All right. Love you, ladies. I hope you have a good night. Oh, bye, Katie.